Chris Dawson has been sentenced to 24 years behind bars for the murder of his former wife, Lynette Dawson. It is 18 years of non-parole, and essentially this is justice for Lynette's family. He is not likely to outlive this sentence. So this is an effective life sentence. Justice Ian Harrison said that this was, or justified this sentence, saying, "We know who killed Lynette Dawson. The concealment of the location of the body does show a distinct lack of remorse." He said he intended to kill her and did so in her own home. He is satisfied that that is the only rational explanation here. In this sentencing, Justice Ian Harrison said that Chris Dawson needed to understand the impact that he's had on his two daughters and his family. They are left to suffer and deal with this. He is 74 years of age. The physical effects of playing football, a fractured hip and rib recently, he took all of this into account. He knows that at his age, he will find the conditions of incarceration more onerous than other inmates. He knows that Chris Dawson, in this sentencing, said he's not likely to re-offend. There are good prospects of rehabilitation. He references the character reference that said that he was a good father. But Justice Ian Harrison said that Mr Dawson's crime was driven by his uncontrollable desire to be with JC, the babysitter. And this sentence reflects his self-indulgent brutality. Adam Walters, our senior reporter, is here with me outside the New South Wales Supreme Court. Adam, that was very clear from Justice Ian Harrison. He took into account a number of things, his age. But as I mentioned, this is an effective life sentence, 24 years behind bars.
And he acknowledged the very real possibility that Chris Dawson will die in custody. But he said there was pressure and expectation on the court to deliver on community expectations.
That's right.
That such self-indulgent brutality, as he described it, cannot be tolerated in any circumstances. In referencing Dawson's complaints about the delay in legal proceedings, the judge was very quick to remind him that for decades he moved freely within the community, unpunished and without any remorse or apparent concern about the welfare or whereabouts or truth about what happened to his wife.
That line, the self-indulgent brutality, that sums up his case, that he's moved at large in the community and lived a relatively normal life for the last 40-odd years. That's what Justice Harrison said in this sentencing today. He also said that the denial of responsibility of this crime has benefited him. He did take into account, as I mentioned before, his age. He's acknowledged all of these things. Vilification by other inmates, and he's oddly referred to in jail, this is Justice Harrison's words, that he's referred to as the teacher's pet, so he's taunted by other inmates. But let's not make today all about Chris Dawson. This is about Lynette and her family. Adam, I don't wish to assume anything, but I think from speaking to Renee this morning, her niece, that they will be satisfied with this outcome today.
They've only wanted justice. In the victim impact statements, his daughter referred to a marathon of pain and uncertainty and being silenced, and this massive hole that had been left in her life by the absence of a loving mother. And that was also referred to by her auntie, who said she felt for the two girls, she felt for the mother of Lynette Dawson. There's been so much suffering beyond that of the victim herself. It has lingered for 41 years, an incredible burden for these people.
An incredible burden. You're absolutely right, Adam. But speaking to the family, they have come to terms with this. I think they have a healthy attitude. What they have been through, they feel, and I don't use the word closure, but this is a conclusion. That guilty verdict 13 weeks ago is what they needed. He gaslit Lynette in death for almost 40 years, and now they know, her daughters know, that their mother didn't up and leave them.
Well, the
for
game's
life
up.
with a cult.
The game's up. The truth has been revealed. The judge even said that references from relatives pointing to his so-called devotion as a father and a grandfather had been diminished by the awful reality that he's a killer. That the weight afforded to those testimonials before the conviction in August had to be reassessed.